Yes.
and I'm making an objection to your beliefs,
Yeah.
I would expect you to approach me with, first and foremost, a very subtle and a very friendly and a very open manner, ready for a discourse. Not necessarily from the very onset accusing me of lying without first listening to
Me and the brother are open for a discourse.
Well, we were having a very interesting discourse before that gentleman came along.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it did not continue.
No,
because I felt that insulted my premise without first justifying what I was trying to say.
What was your point, if you don't mind me asking?
He said to me that it was not Jesus Christ.
Don't worry about him.
No, that's fine, sir. That's fine. I like your demeanor, so I'll speak to you briefly because I gotta go.
No problem.
The question was that why did the Quran call Jesus Christ Al-Mashiach? Because Al-Mashiach itself is not an Arabic word. The genesis of the word does not emanate from the Quran. It was in existence way into the Old Testament, into the Torah. So how comes the Quran adopts a word and does not expound on the word called Al-Mashiach? So that is my question. And he came along and said, well, Jesus Christ was not the only one called Al-Mashiach, that Cyrus was also Al-Mashiach. But unfortunately for us, Cyrus was not a prophet. Yeah? The anointed that Cyrus was anointed, he was used because of the disobedience of Israel.
Are you asking the question?
No, I'm just deviating.
Oh, can I answer the question?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Firstly, I would say when it comes to, you mentioned the Quran and the Arabic language.
Yes.
One point which I'm sure you're aware of, the Arabic language existed before the Quran was sent down 1,400 years ago. So the Arabic language was there. The Arabic language is a sister language to Hebrew, Aramaic, etc. So when we say Masaha, the origin of the word Messiah, it is in the Arabic language. It means to touch something, it means to pass your hand over something. So it is in the Arabic language. Just because something is in Hebrew and it's shared in Arabic, it is very difficult to say one took it from the other. Rather, it can be that they both took it from the same origin. That's one point. But I think that the point with the Messiah is...
Sorry, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
No problem. The Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims all use the word Messiah, anointed one, in English, but they all use it and understand it in a different way.
You don't mind if I
No problem.
Now, why did the Jews, the Pharisees, and
Sadducees, etc.
ask Jesus Christ, "Are you the Messiah?"
Because
I'm using the word. I'm using the definite article.
Yeah.
Are you the Messiah?
In the book of John, the Gospel according to John.
Are you the Messiah? Then also, who is the Messiah? If there is a Messiah they are waiting for, which of course up to today the Jews are waiting for the Messiah.
Yes. The Antichrist.
And you and I agreed that Jesus Christ is Al-Mashiach.
Yes.
The question is, who is this? What is so significant about the title Al-Mashiach? What is so significant? What is the importance?
Okay.
What distinguishes him from other messengers?
Okay. So, Messiah. What's interesting is in the English translation of the Bible, the word Messiah in the Old Testament is used, the scholars say 39 times. Only twice they translate it as Messiah. But anointed, the Messiah, is used many times. It's used for judges, it's used for kings, it's used for prophets. And as we said,
can I just interject 1 second before you continue?
It's very hard for me to make my point if you keep interjecting.
But distinguish between anointed, because kings, priests, we're all anointed.
Yes.
But I'm looking at the title Al-Mashiach.
I'm coming to it.
Yes.
So, as we mentioned, Cyrus, after the Babylonian exile, when he allowed the children of Israel to return to Jerusalem and to rebuild the
walls of Jerusalem,
he was called the Anointed One of God.
Yes.
The Messiah of God. So that title was given. So my point is, in Islam, we understand the Messiah is someone who was appointed by God. In Judaism, they understand a Messiah to be a king on the throne of David, who will be a military leader, who will establish, who will defeat the enemies of the children of Israel and will establish dominance for the children of Israel. The Christians, they have made the Messiah into a suffering Messiah, and then a Messiah who will come in the later days and will dominate, and meaning that he will be
so
God.
we're talking about an individual in this case then.
So my point is, the Jews have an interpretation of Messiah, Christians have an interpretation of Messiah, and Islam has I want to know, why do you think that your interpretation is the correct one?
Okay, fantastic. Now, first and foremost, the reason why I'm asking these questions, because it is quite interesting that the Muslims adopt the word Messiah, but when I say adopt, bear with me, okay?
I don't agree with the word adopt at all. Right. Revelation informed from Allah.
Oh, well, okay, that's fine. Let's go by that. You understand? But the question is, what I have not yet been able to be persuaded about is that you are telling me now. What you're telling me now? You are generalizing the word Messiah. Whereas we have established already that the Jews specifically are referring to an individual who will establish a military dominance. And then the state of Israel, so a glorious state. And then in the Christendom, we're saying an individual, the suffering individual, who died and resurrected, and is seated on the right hand of the throne of God, and will come again. And also in the Quran, you're also talking about Jesus Christ being the anointed one, who would come again, and destroy the cross and kill the pigs, and
kill the Antichrist, and rule by Islam.
There you go. So you see, so in three perspectives, we are speaking about an individual, not individuals.
Okay.
So what I'm saying here is that if we follow our line of thought, it means that both the Judaism...
I'm still going to come back to the same question.
Yes, sir.
My question to you is, where do you get the idea that the Messiah should be God incarnate on earth, who dies for the sins of mankind?
From the Old Testament, from the Old Testament, and I can quote them from the book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 9. It says, "Unto us a son is given, unto us a son is born. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And the government shall be upon his shoulder."
Let's stop there. Let's stop there.
Should I move one step further?
No. Let's stop there. Let's examine the evidence you brought. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Okay. I want to know from you, where does this chapter indicate that this is a Messianic verse or a Messianic chapter? Where does it say it's talking about the Messiah?
Well, if you want to say where does it talk about the Messiah...
No. I don't want to know where it talks about the Messiah. I want to know from you, where do you understand that Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 is talking about the Messiah?
From the perspective of the Jews, the individual that I am talking about, who is Christ himself.
No. I want to know, does this verse say, does the verse tell you, does the chapter tell you that this is a prophecy about the Messiah? Because there's a problem. The Jews, they understand this verse is referring to Hezekiah. They don't believe it's referring to the Messiah. That's one. Second.
You're interjecting me though.
No, but second is, I asked you for evidence, you brought the evidence, I want to examine the evidence. Isaiah 9 and 6 is past tense. To us a son has been given. Christians, they translate it as future tense.
But what's the title though?
And also, Jesus, according to the Orthodox Christian position, Trinitarian position, Jesus is not the Father.
Nobody said Jesus was the Father.
The verse says, to us a son is given.
Listen, nobody says...
The verse says, he will be called the everlasting Father.
Yes.
Is Jesus the second person in the Trinity? Is Jesus the everlasting Father according to Orthodox Trinity belief? No.
Okay.
Play games if you want.
Can I interject? Okay. Now, mind you, we're talking about the scriptures here. We're talking about the Hebrew scriptures.
Yes, sir.
And then with those titles that have been accorded to a child. Is there any person, any human being that has been accorded those individual titles? Is there anybody, sir?
Is Jesus, simple question, with all due respect,
Yes.
because I'm going to go and pray. They're going to pray.
Me too.
I'm going to go.
Me too, I gotta go.
I just make one. I would like to. Hopefully, we can have the conversation again.
Yes, sir.
But I just want to make this one point, and then I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
Jesus. This verse says, according to the modern translation, the Greek Septuagint doesn't say this, but according to this translation, it says the everlasting Father.
Yes.
My point is, Jesus. So. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father. My point is, according to the Trinitarian belief,
yes,
Jesus is not the Everlasting Father. Therefore, this verse is not about the Messiah, and it's not about Jesus.
Really? So, with all those titles,
is Jesus the Everlasting Father?
Is there any individual? Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any individual that the Jews would dare call?
Yeah.
And give them that title.
Hezekiah, that's what the Jews called it.
But there's no evidence that it was.
What's your evidence that Jesus is the everlasting Father?
But the same. Let me.
Is Jesus the everlasting Father?
Let me say this.
Is Jesus the Father?
Is Jesus the Father? You're not giving me a chance.
No, because I hope you're not trying to avoid it. Is Jesus the Father?
That's not
yes or no?
No, listen. You got to. Well, let me expound myself.
Okay.
Allow me. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Now, first and foremost, we've established that you cannot give a human being any of those titles in the first instance.
Is Jesus the everlasting Father?
You can consider him as the everlasting Father.
No. Does the Bible, does the Church, does the New Testament consider Jesus the everlasting Father?
In the New Testament,
the answer is no.
Okay. In the New Testament, we have the Father and we have the Son.
Is Jesus
and
the
we
Father?
Have the Holy Spirit.
Is Jesus the Father?
You keep flashing this on my face.
Sir, I have to go now. Forgive me.
Me too.
Thank you for your time.
Me too. Thank you for your time too.
Hopefully we can continue another time.
Yeah.
All the best.
Speaking to you, sir.
We're
What's
here
your name, sir?
Yusuf. Sorry, I should have said at the beginning. Naz.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All the best.
Right. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, salat time. Eid Mubarak, everyone. Alhamdulillah.